I've done videos on Kaiba's moveset in the past, but since then the moveset has been updated and more public information about the character has been revealed through screenshots. There's still 2 moves that we aren't 1,000,000% sure on or 100% sure on, but we can infer pretty reasonably that we know what the entire moveset of Seto Kaiba is going to be. So I did want to run you through that and show you visually what is the go with everything. So let's start off with his normal attacks, because I think that's the most easy thing to go over. His normal attacks are performed by what is almost definitely Blue Eyes White Dragon. Based on screenshots, we see Seto Kaiba being chased around by Blue Eyes White Dragon, which makes perfect sense because that's going to be the character he's doing his attacks with. And on top of that, when you mod the character into the game, the animations look almost identical to what you would expect Blue Eyes White Dragon to look like. I know it looks really weird because it's got, Dark Magician doing it, but you get the general idea. Some people were concerned when they found out that Blue Eyes White Dragon was going to be the card that Kaiba uses in his combos, and I certainly understand the concern, but based on what we can tell when we mod the character into the game, is that Blue Eyes doesn't take up a whole lot of space on the screen, and Spike Chunsoft was very aware that that could be a problem. So the camera is moved over to the right slightly, and Blue Eyes White Dragon only appears on the left-hand side of the screen, so it gives you quite a good visual range of what's happening. Oh, and most importantly, Blue Eyes is not on the screen the entire match. He's only on the screen just as much as Dark Magician is, which is whenever he's throwing out an attack, whenever he's blocking, whenever he's doing an action. So I don't think that should be too much of a problem. Moving on to the more exciting part of this conversation, the special moves. Starting with Special 1, White Lightning Attack. I'm choosing to call this White Lightning Attack because I think it would be called that before it was called Burst Stream of Destruction. For those out of the loop, Burst Stream of Destruction is a card that is in the TCG, but just based on the way that the rest of the moves are named in Jump Force, I doubt it would be the exact name of the card. But regardless, that's what it will be. It will be a big beam attack. Functionally, it's a beam, and it looks like a pretty good beam as well. This is his assist as well, so you can do some pretty cool stuff with that. You've seen the type of block pressure you can get with the other beams in the game, Goku, Piccolo, etc. So hopefully Blue Eyes White Dragon will have a similar effect to that. Special 2 is Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon / Polymerization. Now, again, we haven't actually seen this functionally in the game. There's no screenshots of it, but based on what happens when you mod the character into the game, this is almost definitely Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. Functionally, what happens is Blue Eyes himself, just the standard Blue Eyes, runs at the enemy, then this yellow effect goes over Blue Eyes White Dragon, and then he becomes another thing. I think what's happening there is that Blue Eyes White Dragon is already in play. Kaiba's playing Polymerization, fusing his 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons together in order to summon the Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, which will end up doing a big beam at the end of the cinematic. I really like that they managed to work Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon into the moveset. Special 3 is Draw Card. Obviously, this has 3 different effects, so we're going to go over them. We've got Ring of Destruction, which functions roughly as you would expect a Ring of Destruction to function. It attaches to the enemy and then it explodes. You can combo after this, so of course that can lead to some pretty awesome damage. Draw 2 is Crush Card. I say it's Crush Card because when you mod Kaiba into the game, what happens is 2 hits randomly happen. If you draw a card, these 2 somethings will move towards the enemy and then hit them. Previously, I thought this was going to be a monster card, but based on this screenshot officially released by Bandai Namco, it's almost definitely going to be Crush Card. For the final draw option, we have Shadow Spell. People were comparing this to Swords Revealing Light, effectively just leaving the opponent in place. I'm not sure if it will functionally work like that. I've tried the move and it's hard to tell without the actual animations, but I think it's fair for me to say that these 2 effects aren't exactly the same. I think you're going to use Shadow Spell fairly differently. However, Kaiba does have a beam, so you might be able to do similar zoning things that you do with Yugi. I'm actually really excited to see how Kaiba's moveset plays out. It's going to be impossible to tell until we get him because Yugi Muto and Kaiba are both very reactionary characters. They're not really characters you have your own gameplay for, or your own game plan, I should say. You react to what your opponent does and play off of that. So it's really hard to get an idea of what one of these characters is going to play like until you can play against another person. And finally, his awakening technique is obviously Obelisk the Tormentor. Again, I know I've done videos on Kaiba in the past, but I wanted to go over these now that we know each and every single one of his moves, and we've got official confirmation of almost all of them besides Blue Eyes White Dragon, besides Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon and Ring of Destruction. I was actually going to do almost identically this video all the way back when we first got the screenshots of Crush Card and Shadow Spell, but I decided to hold out on it because I think there was some news for that you know, that small indie fighting game no one cares about, Mortal Kombat 11, I think there was news on that same day, and I wanted to cover that. But I also wanted to eventually go over this moveset, because A, I think it's a really cool moveset, and now we do have official confirmation. This list, well, again, pretty close to official confirmation on all of these moves. It would be shocking to me if any of these moves changed. This should be the final moveset for Seto Kaiba. I hope you were able to enjoy the video. If you were, I'd really appreciate a like on it. It does help other people find it. Subscribe to keep up to date with future content. My name has been Bilbzy, and I'll see you in the next video.